found. I am 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 found. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So for December, they've picked the topic of integrity. And that's going to be a good one for us as we kind of blend it into a lot of different things. We embrace the quality of being honest and strive to let our inner convictions match our outer actions. We express wholeness, honesty, and fairness in our relationships and our activities. I like that. We strive to let our inner convictions match our outer actions. Yesterday was the annual blood drive that I'm trying to kind of cultivate for the holiday season every year. We did one in September, at the end of September, and I planned them time-wise because you have to have, if you're doing whole blood, you wait 56 days between giving, so that allowed the wait that you could come twice if you wanted to. I found out yesterday, and I wish I had known this ahead of time, that the blood that was donated to us in September on that day that we were here went directly to Las Vegas to the victims of the shooting for the concert there, and served and helped a lot of people. So every little thing we do matters. And when we have that idea to give and serve, on the inside, sometimes we may get lost in all the activities of this month, and if we can give in any little way, it's powerful. We don't realize sometimes the path that's before us with what we do. I'm grateful to Kathy and Shane for the service that they're giving on this website now, the Friends of the Center for Spiritual Living, because it is fascinating for what comes and what's shared on there. And she is right on it it's like you live on that every minute of every day, so you're working it for us. I appreciate that. It's on the fly. Okay. While she's driving. Hey, so that means she's got one of those attachments that you can just use your thumb. Also, I think for service, I'm just going to plug this in here right now. Since it is Christmas, we have a closet full of Christmas decorations, but I'm not able to be here during the week anymore. So it would be wonderful if people would like to get together to put some decorations up. I have a sign-up sheet on the front table out the door and on the activities table so we can get our Christmas tree up before the season gets rolling and a few other things. That would be really cool if some people would like to do that. So to begin our conversation today, I'm going to speak about wandering off the path. If we have this idea of integrity, we can sometimes wander off that path because of different things going on. We wander off our direction of goals and guidance. And I want to give you kind of an overview then for the next few weeks because December gets kind of busy. Next week, the topic is character. On the 17th, Kurt is going to speak about courage. And on December 24th, Christmas Eve, we have a wonderful presentation for you. And then the next Sunday is New Year's Eve, which, wow, will be an all-day thing starting at 4:30 in the morning for those of you who are brave and strong. And that's our World Peace Healing Meditation that happens every year. And that's a big deal because that happens at the same time around the planet for peace. So we hope that you will join us. And that's an annual thing that we're doing also. 4:30 a.m. So as we begin this morning, we begin first, when we start our path in life, we begin on that little yellow brick that's in the beginning of the spiral as we move around and then move forward on our life. It's the path that leads to the Emerald City or wherever your goal is for you, for the growth of your life. And along the way, you meet all kinds of different characters, and some will support you on your path. Some will throw apples at you. Some will walk beside you, and some will try to control the path. Some will want you to guide them and care for them and lead them on the way. And just when you think everything's going okay or maybe not scary enough, there's those darn flying monkeys that show up. So you just never quite know what's going to pull you off your path. But then sometimes things show up even better than you could have imagined. So we can be on our path to be the best that we can be for our highest and best outcome, our purpose, our goals that we want to accomplish consciously and unconsciously. And then suddenly something pulls us sideways. Something unexpected lands in our lap and stopped us, and then our dreams and our goals become a whole different picture than what we thought. But at least it's only for the moment. From a science of mind perspective, we know in truth, with the capital T, that there really is only one path, and that's the path of our spiritual blossoming. In truth, we cannot really get lost. We just make detours or stops along the way. If we could see that these detours and pauses are really rich in blessings and are actually for us and for our good, that would be a good thing. That would support us. But everything that brought you to one step at a time, in this very moment, the realization of your life is what has made you the richness that you are and all the good that you have. There are no accidents, and every step has offered a pause for realization, reflection, and growth. We just sometimes don't think about that because we're preoccupied. At any point on your path, your path can go in any direction, like the yellow brick road that Dorothy travels to the land of Oz. Or how about Tom Hanks when he stands in the center of the crossroads at the end of Castaway? Or how about the path that Indiana Jones takes in the Raiders of the Lost Ark? Okay, so you remember that opening scene. Harrison Ford finds that golden statue, and he knows that he's got to pick that thing up, because when he lifts that golden statue off that little holder, something big's going to happen, and he's got that statue, and he's got that bag of sand for the weight to kind of match it up. And so he lifts that statue and he gets it, but it doesn't work. All those things start coming alive, all those danger things, and he's got to start running. So he takes off, and then all of a sudden he's got to use his intuition. He's got to step on every step, right? Every step, because if he steps on the wrong one, then those poison spears come flying across the street, and then his guide gets caught, and he gets right in his throat, and he gets killed, and then he's got to keep going. And then there's that big ball, that big, huge ball comes rolling down there to kind of catch him and squash him, right? But he miraculously is guided out of that tunnel. He has good script writers. And he runs out of that tunnel to then only be chased by the tribe with the poison darts, right? Because they're supposed to protect the golden statue. What a path. Yeah. Whew. And that's life for some of us. So I use fictional characters to show these extreme journeys, but sometimes our own life can feel pretty extreme. So is there anybody that every now and then a bit and piece of their life may have felt like any one of those? Just every now and then? Mine sure has. In each of these stories, the person's path may have felt like it was taking a very different direction than where they thought they were going. But no matter what the path looked like, there was something to be gained. There was something that they were able to acquire and enrich their life when they finally got back on track. And it actually took them to a different place. So here's the flip side of the coin, in that the ego and frustration and anger might get in the way. When we're stopped in our tracks and we're not able to follow the path that we want to go on, our ego kind of kicks in. And sometimes that can even make us act in a way that we would never have thought of. But that's also life. So I want to talk about wandering off the path and whether we make that choice to do so, or sometimes the choice is made for us. But in truth, we're never too far off, really, from our path of life and what we have chosen to do. And we can come back. Years ago, before I found Science of Mind and Spiritual Mind Treatment, I loved to listen to psychics. I used to love to go to the groups and listen to them, and they do their readings, because I thought they was kind of fascinating. But actually, I heard one who told me something that, or actually told the group where I was, something that really resonated with me. She said that each person comes into life by agreement and with a purpose and a goal, and their path is laid out before them for what they want to accomplish in their lifetime. But she described it that life looks like a bowling alley. And you're the bowling ball. So on the bowling alley, it's kind of straight. It's a straight path. And along the sides, there are these nice soft bumpers, right, for when the ball hits the sides. So you can be, well, in the kitty eye, Shane is shaking his head. And in the kitty eye, it's where I bowl. So you can be, now let me tell my story. So you're the bowling ball and you're rolling down straight down that path of life, right? And everything's going nice and smooth. But sometimes you're going down there and you swerve a little bit to the left and you might hit that soft little bumper and it's safe and you just want to glide right down there and be guided down the side lane of that path. But then sometimes you can get a sharp curve, man, and you can go and you can hit that left side and then it'll bounce you over to the right side and then you ricochet, zigzag down that line like a madman in life. Until things calm down, and then you're rolling straight down your path again. So life can be like a bowling lane. You're never too far off, really, from the center of your path. You may stray left or right, but you've made this agreement with Spirit so that you really can't go too far off. That's a good thing. These are examples of life as humans. We wander off the path. So let me ask this question again. What if we could see that these detours and these little side trips we take and these pauses are really blessings, and there's a richness for us, and there's a reminder that the universe is really for us, and that all of this is for our good in one way or another. 2 weeks ago, I talked about gratitude. Remember? Anybody still doing 21 days of gratitude? Well, that's fun. I catch myself. I'm still working with it. When you live in gratitude, no matter what's going on in your life, I'm stuck. There's a pause. No matter what's going on in life, when you're living that gratitude, there's always something that is felt by the universe. It feels that energy of gratitude that you have. So no matter whether you have something that doesn't feel right or something takes you off track, if you're being grateful in the moment for what has been, what's in the moment, and what's going to happen, the universe feels that and pulls you forward, and good things show up for you. That is the way that works. You can be standing in the middle of the crossroad, and as long as you're grateful in that moment, even for the fact that there's choice, you can be guided in right choices to make. A dear friend of mine from out of state called me the other day. She'd been notified the day before that her job was ending January 1st. She ain't too happy. She was told she'd have a long future with this company, and a nice big salary, so she bought a new house and a new car, and then gets this notice that her job is ending right after Christmas. So she called to kind of, and we do the phone call. So I listened, and I said, may I share with you what I would tell somebody who was coming to me for prayer with this story? Okay. So I explained gratitude to her, and she listened. And I explained that one of the first things that you can be grateful for is the fact that they told you now and not January 2nd. Because I've had friends who were told after Christmas their job is gone after they did their Christmas shopping. And so you know now so that you can use your money efficiently over the next 30 days. And she went, well, okay, yeah, that's good. I'm grateful for that. So here's what I told her. I told her that I offered an affirmation. And so I offered her an affirmation to be grateful in the moment for what she has had that's brought her to today. She explained to me that she doesn't burn bridges. She kept in touch with an old boss that actually offered her a temporary job so that she didn't have to go on unemployment or didn't have to be without work. I said, so you can be grateful not only for the job you had that brought you to this point, you can be grateful right now because something has already come into your lap. And then be grateful for what's coming. Be grateful for what's coming, that it can actually be even better than you would have imagined. And to speak this affirmation out loud as much as you can. Because when we speak sacred words out loud, it resonates viscerally with us. So she accepted that. So she's doing that. It made sense to her. I'll share that recently I had a challenge that fell into my lap, and I didn't want it. I wasn't sure how to handle it. It kind of stopped me. It kind of stunned me. I called my mentors. I asked for guidance. I asked those of experience and wisdom, how would you handle this? And every person I spoke to told me the same thing. They said, listen to your heart. I wanted them to tell me what to do because I'm human too at times. But they said, listen to your heart and you will know what to do and trust it. Well, okay. So to listen to my heart means I have to go within. And to go within sometimes is, when you're got something that's kind of gnawing at you, it's hard to sit still sometimes. But I went into prayer. I went into meditation. I went to the big kahuna, right? I wanted to get guidance from that perspective. And it's a funny thing. I don't hear a loud voice. I have friends that hear things. I don't get that. I don't get that voice that says, Lynne, go to the left bookshelf on shelf 3, page 14. I don't get that kind of stuff. It's almost like it's so subtle I don't hear anything. But I have to be in a place of trust so that what has come to me can come through me. So, I could have let this thing hold me up for a long time. I did my work. I did my spiritual practice. And I realized that if I hadn't gone into my own guidance, I could have also fallen out of integrity because this thing was really pulling me sideways. But I went to the task, and then I realized I was surprised how easily I ended up completing this little task I had to do. And you know why? It was because I asked, I trusted, and I gave thanks. And then I went to physically do what I had to do. I trusted myself to follow my heart. And I knew that's where the answer would be. Even though I didn't get that word, I had to trust myself. And sometimes that's the hardest part. If I can get myself, well, not if I can get myself, I got myself into meditation because I've been taught that's where the guidance comes from. The next thing that has to happen is I have to learn to trust myself. And that's where it comes from. So the universe is for us. We have to do our part along the way. Our part is commitment to spiritual practice that keeps the open flow of connection to spirit, to guidance, and to that inner voice that is always there, just waiting for our recognition of it. It is our awareness that we are not alone in the universe. We are not alone when we come to that center of the crossroads. The guidance is there. The spiritual practice, no matter what it is for you, is the thing that takes you deeper into yourself, into that voice, into that gap. That's the quiet space to listen to it and to connect with spirit. A committed spiritual practice, like meditation, and we're going to do it with the broken record here, brings you to a state of relaxation. It brings you to that deepening that allows you to see life in a whole different way. And eventually you begin to see life from the soul's point of view. You begin to see that all is well and all comes into balance, because when we finally find that place of inner balance within and we realize it, our outer life finds balance. Because so within, then also without. Dr. Holmes says the universe is impersonal. It gives alike to all. It is no respecter of persons. Do you know what that phrase means? When I first heard it, I really had to kind of sit with it a little bit. But it means that the universe sees everyone equal and the same. No one is judged or treated differently. It values each alike. It's the nature of the universe is to impart, which is to give, and ours is to receive. So when we stand in the light, we cast a shadow across the pathway of our own experience. And Emerson advises that we get our bloated nothingness out of the way. So our divine circuits can shine and can flow. So when we can step aside of our own ego and out of the distrust of ourselves, we make room for our higher self to show us the way. And for spirit to light that path and guide us back to our center. There's another spiritual practice I want to share with you today, and I may have heard this, I think I've mentioned this before, and it's very helpful for getting back on your center of your path, and it's from Reverend Dr. Jim Lockhart's book, Creating the Beloved Community. Fascinating little book. And this practice is called presencing. presencing. To sense, tune in, and to act from one's highest future potential. The future that depends on us to bring it into being. Now that's a whole different way to look at things. We talk about being in the moment and trusting what's within, but what if we can actually work not only with what's in the moment and what's within, but what's out there, the possibilities and potential that's leading us along? What if we can do that? So it's like there is this great potential for great things to happen, but it can't show up until we acknowledge a possibility and make space for it. So presencing blends the two words. It blends presence with sensing and works through seeing from our deepest source. Okay, so what the heck is that? Well, we all have a deep connection to the source that exists within us, but we also have a connection to that source energy out there around us. So when we're in connection with the source within and the same connection with that source energy around us, it does lead us into an energetic presence that's positive, alive, organic, and it's ready to grow and form for where we want to go. So how are we presenting ourselves energetically to others and where we want to be? How do others perceive us when we're alive with this energy? When we're in that space of connection within and around us, we actually are more authentic, we feel more compassion, we are open, and we're able to act from our own highest potential. Isn't that what we kind of want to do? Right? So energy follows attention. The phrase I've usually heard is what you focus on expands. That's the same thing. Energy follows attention. So I put my attention on the truth that Spirit is right here in me, as me, through me, and also in the task that I want to do. And when I do that, then only the highest and best can be the outcome, right? It's kind of like covering all your bases. I'm focused here with Spirit, out here, and what am I moving into? Whether it's a task I want to do, whether it's a new goal I have, even if it's a meeting I'm going into, I can make that intention right there that I am presencing. I am in presence with Spirit. I am sensing what's in me and around me and inviting others to do that. So only the highest good can really come from a situation. Some of it sounds easy, some of it takes practice, some of it is a level of true depth and authenticity that you have to work with, and sometimes that necessity of depth is not comfortable for people to do. I get that, but we can practice it, and we can slowly develop this, and we can grow in a place for our future potential being to be that which leads us on our path. Even if we fall off of our path, if we go sideways or left or right, we can call back and remember this, that here's this thing that wants to lead us. Emerson says, "What you are thunders so loud that I cannot hear what you're saying." When you're in that mode of presencing, the blending of presence and sensing, seeing from our deepest source, people see you differently because you are different. They notice your depth. Dr. Jim also says in his book that at this level, we release our attachments to the past. We open to a generative flow from within. You might think it's like accessing your inner intuitive wisdom in the moment. There's a release of will resulting in a complete openness to what emerges. This reminds me of the statement that Spirit lights the path before us and makes the crooked way straight. I've always liked that. So when we've wandered off the path, presencing can bring us back. Does that sound good? Yeah, I like that. So that's a lot of information today. I do that to you sometimes. Take a breath, roll your shoulders, let it sink in for a minute. So how can I summarize that for you? It's actually kind of simple. Number one, you're never alone, anywhere, at any time. Number two, trust your guidance. And learn to trust yourself with the guidance. Trust the guidance that comes, because it does come. And then learn to trust yourself. Number three is have a daily spiritual practice to deepen your connection with Spirit within and in front of you. And the fourth one is to live in gratitude for everything that has been, everything that's in this moment, and everything that's to come. Because what can come can be greater than you've ever imagined. And that does happen. So 4 things for this week. You're never alone. Spiritual practice. Trust your guidance and yourself. And live in gratitude. Can you do that with me? Cool. Let's take this into prayer. I invite the practitioners to stand around the room and be their presence for us. Spiritual mind treatment with our practitioners and how they pray for you is the foundation of our faith philosophy, our tradition. And so I invite you to, after the service, if you feel you would like a prayer today, it's not a story time telling session with practitioners, but if you would like a quick prayer, the practitioners will be in the library room where they can pray with you. Or if you would like to write a written prayer, there is a Ministry of Prayer box out by the front window, and the practitioners will pray for you during the week. And so as I turn within, I recognize within is that source of life, is that source of love, is that source of connection to all that is, because there is only one life, and it is good. One source of all and everything that lives and moves and breathes and has its being in, as, and through me and every individual here. As we speak this easy prayer for a new minister, the words resonate with the minister within each individual that attends this center and this service. For we each have our own idea and our own picture of what we want that to be. So we call to the minister within us to awaken and to call to that minister out that is looking for us as well. We light the path. Spirit lights the path for us between this and that, them and us. And it is good and very good. It makes the crooked way straight and lights that pathway, lights that alley. And what seeks us, we are seeking it. Because there is a minister that wants this place right here, that seeks to be a part of the presencing that is in the heart and mind and soul of every individual here. That presence and sensing and seeing the goal and the good that is before us. That potential, that good. And so I'm grateful for this moment to speak this word, because I know that it doesn't come from me, but it comes through me, because that place of source is big. And so I'm grateful to have this moment and to share with everyone. I give thanks for this day. I give thanks for what we move into with this holiday season. And I know great blessings for each individual. I know great blessings and guidance and love and care for the leaders of this country and the leaders of the world. For I know that there is guidance that is good. And I call it in. I give great blessings to every minister, every rabbi, every priest, every faith leader around the planet. Because we recognize and know that within Science of Mind, there is also that golden thread that connects to every religion and every faith. And so we are in that connection for the good of this whole of this planet. And so I speak that word. And so with absolute joy and good, I release this word into the law, into that mechanics that makes it so. And grounding this together, we say, and so it is.